Here are the 5 business skills you need in order if you want to win in business. First, let me ask you something. Why do some people start their own business with absolutely no experience, but they end up succeeding? While others, they start and they have this MBA, this degree, and some corporate experience, but they end up failing. You see, I used to think it was like luck or connections, right? Or being in the right place at the right time. But after studying thousands of different entrepreneurs, I discovered something fascinating. The people who win all have these 5 specific skills, and none of them are what you actually expect. So I'm not going to tell you that has anything to do with getting better at marketing or sales or really good at finance. What I'm about to share with you, these are actual executional skills that you can actually do to get things done. And here's the best part. Every single one of them is learnable. You can start practicing them today. So if you're thinking about taking a leap into entrepreneurship, or you've already started something but you're struggling to get traction, then I want you to pay attention, because by the end of this video, you're going to get exactly what to practice and how to practice it so you can actually get results. So let's get into it. All right. Skill number 1, you want to test fast. Here's what most people get wrong. They have an idea and they spend months or years planning until they get it right. They want everything to be perfect before they actually launch. But the most successful entrepreneurs do the exact opposite. They test their ideas as quickly as possible with real people. Let me give you an example. Brian Chesky, the co-founder of Airbnb, he didn't spend months building his platform. He bought like 3 air mattresses, took in some photos, built a simple website in one day, and then listed as air bed and breakfast spots during some kind of conference. And he had paying customers within 48 hours, not a week. Another example, Drew Houston, who designed Dropbox. He pretty much just spent his time building a 3 simple minute demo video before building the product, and then he posted online, and then within the next few hours he went from having a waiting list of like 5,000 to 7,000 people overnight, and he validated massive market demand before writing most of his code. So here's what you can do to be able to take it into account to be able to help you build out your business. Here's how you do this. So when you have a business idea, right, ask yourself, what is the one thing that needs to be true in order for this to actually work? And then what you want to do is you want to design the smallest fastball test possible. Don't build the whole thing, don't build the whole product, don't build the perfect website. Just test your initial idea and go from there. Example, let's just say you want to start some kind of meal prep business, right? Don't spend $5,000 in a commercial kitchen first. Instead, what you want to do is create a Google form with 3 meal options, post in your local Facebook groups. If you get 10 orders, great, you validated your demand. And then all you do is you cook those meals at home and then you serve them yourself. Now, what if nobody orders? Scary, right? You just save yourself thousands of dollars and months of your time wasted had you initially just got that, commercial kitchen. So you see, the skill is moving fast. Testing within short hours, 48 hours, not 48 weeks. And then you want to get real feedback from real people, and then you just adjust from there. While everyone else is still planning, you're already having 3 different versions or variation of what you plan to build out because you've tested it and actually learned from real data. So that's skill number 1. Skill number 2, use your constraints. Most first-time entrepreneurs think they need money to start. They need connections. They need experience. And because they don't have these things, what do? They wait and wait and wait, end up doing nothing. It happens to a lot of us. I was guilty of that as well. But some of the most successful entrepreneurs and businesses in the world right now were built because of these constraints, not in spite of them. Here's an example. Sarah Blakely, one of my favorite entrepreneurs, started her company Spanx with just $5,000 in savings. She had no fashion industry experience and no connections at all. She couldn't afford a patent attorney. For those that don't know what a patent is, basically it's just to be able to protect your intellectual property if it's something unique. Anyway, so she bought a book and wrote her own patent. She couldn't afford models. She was not able to deal with these photo shoots, so she decided to just get people, model herself. She couldn't get to the stores through normal channels, so she went to department stores herself and showed the product to female managers in the bathroom. Her constraints forced her to be creative. Spanx ended up becoming $1 billion company. Crazy, right? Using her constraints. So be with $1 billion. So here's how you use this exact same skill. Start off by listing off your top 3 constraints right now. No money, no time, no experience. Then ask, how could this limitation force me to find a better solution? Think outside the box. You can't afford paid ads? Create content so good it spreads organically. That's actually more sustainable. You can't afford employees right now? Use freelancers and automation tools like AI. Can't afford inventory? Try print on demand or drop shipping. Can't afford a developer to be able to build this out for you? Use no-code tools like Webflow. Every constraint is just a problem waiting for you to be able to come up with a creative solution. And often the solution you find because of that constraint constraints ends up being a lot better than expensive alternatives. So you want to be creative, and that's what makes entrepreneurs successful. They get creative. So the ones that are winning and the ones that aren't are the ones, it's not because of the unlimited resources. They're just the one who gets creative within these constraints. So skill number 2 is being able to work within your constraints. Skill number 3, build a learning system. Most people treat business like throwing darts in the dark. They try something, it works, and if it doesn't, and then they move on. They never stop and actually think to analyze what happened. Why was that the case? But successful entrepreneurs are obsessed with learning and improving. They create simple systems to be able to capture what's working so they can get better faster. Here's one of my favorite examples is Jeff Bezos, famous for this. Every decision at Amazon had to be able to have measurable metrics, meaning they didn't just try things randomly. They measured everything, learned from it, and kept improving and moving forward. That's how Amazon went from just a normal online bookstore to one of the most valuable companies in the world, the biggest giant. Not by getting everything right the first time, but being able to learn faster than everyone else and taking that data to improve. So here's your simple system. Let's just say, for example, every Friday, spend 20 minutes answering 3 questions. Question number 1, what did I try this week? Question number 2, what were the results? Question number 3, what will I test differently next week? That's it. 3 questions, 20 minutes, and it makes a difference. So let me give an example. Let's just say you're starting a freelance copywriting business. How this will look like is, let's just say week 1, you send 20 cold emails using a generic template, you get 0 responses. So what happens is week 2, you research 10 businesses, identify specific problems, and send personalized emails, 3 responses, 1 call. Great. Week 3, you add like a 30-second video showing exactly what you improved, 5 responses, 2 calls. Okay, the results are improving. So you see the pattern, you're testing, you're learning, and then you're growing, and you're taking that data so you can get better each week and every time. The person who learns the fastest wins. You don't need to be the smartest, the brightest. You just need to learn faster than your competitor and improve much faster. And the only way you can improve is actually being able to take real life data from real life people, so that way you know what to do and what not to do. Skill number 4, focus on one thing. Here's the trap. You look at successful businesses and you see everything they're doing, right? They're doing the podcast, the newsletter, the social media, the partnerships, the affiliates, all of it. And you try to do the same thing from day one. What do you think is gonna happen? You burn out in a few months because you can't keep up, especially if you don't have a team. But these businesses didn't start all of that. They started by doing one of these things or 2 of these things extremely well, and they added more later. To give you an example, Nathan Barry started ConvertKit, focusing on one specific audience, professional bloggers, and built exactly what they needed, nothing more. He could have built like a dozen different features, but he didn't. Focus on one thing and kept very simple. That focus let him launch much faster, get feedback faster, and iterate, improve much faster. So now ConvertKit is actually a $30 million per year business. Whoa, who wouldn't want to have a $30 million a year business, right? And here's how you can take that lesson and implement. Every week, you want to ask yourself, if I could only work on one thing this week, what would create the most value right now? Not 5 things, one thing that would create the most value. You don't have customers yet? Your one thing is you talk to 20 potential customers. You have a few customers, but inconsistent income? Great. Your one thing, get 3 testimonials and create a referral system. You see, making money, but working 80 hours a week? Whoa. Your one thing, you document one process and hire someone to handle it. And here's a practical exercise. Write down everything you think you need to do for your business. Everything. Now, circle only the things that directly lead to getting or serving more customers. Everything else goes into what I call the later column. Most people realize 80% of what they're doing actually doesn't move the business forward. They're redesigning the website instead of talking to customers. They're creating spreadsheets instead of making sales calls. You want to be able to find the one thing that actually moves your business forward and actually gets you customers. So figure out the simplest math path to be able to reach your goal and ignore everything else until you get there. One thing. And this brings us to the final skill. Just show up every day. I can't stress this enough. This is so important to me because showing up takes a lot of skill and a lot of discipline to do that. This is what my mentor once told me. Ideas are worthless. Everyone has ideas. What matters is execution. And execution requires showing up, especially when it's difficult and tough. And maybe when all you want to do is just sleep more or not get out of bed, right? Because most people are great at starting things. But when things get hard and tough and when results don't come immediately, that's when the excitement that they had initially wears off and they ultimately end up just quitting. That's not going to be you, okay? So let me give you an example. One of my favorite examples, and I'm a huge lover of this, is James Dyson, the founder of Dyson, who spent 15 years creating 5,126 prototypes of the exact same product before he had a working vacuum cleaner. 5,126 failures, but he kept going. Another one, Colonel Sanders was 62 when he started my favorite food chain, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. He got rejected by over 1,000 restaurants before someone finally said yes. That's not talent, that's commitment, that's real hustle, that's showing up every day. And here's how you can build this really important skill. You pick one action you do every single day, no matter what. It doesn't have to be big. In fact, it shouldn't be big. It should be something you can do even on your worst day. Here are some examples just to jog your creative juices here. 1 is send out outreach emails. 2, write for 15 minutes. 3, post 1 piece of content. 4, make 1 sales call. The key is that it's daily, consistently, non-negotiable. You do it even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it. Here's another technique. Make it public. Tell people, announce it. Tell people what you're gonna do. Post it on social media that you're gonna be launching by specific dates. This keeps you accountable so that way you show up and get it done. You tell friends, you'll get 10 customers by the end of the month. When you make your commitments public, really important, okay? You're more likely to follow it through because now you're accountable not only to yourself, but to people that you announce it to. So what you can try to do is find one other person right now building something and check in weekly. Share what you committed to doing, what you actually did, and what's next. You don't want to show up with nothing to report. You're not trying to feel like working, you're trying to build a business, and that requires showing up whether you like it or not. So with that being said, those are the 5 business skills you must have in order to be able to succeed. So let's recap here, okay? The 5 skills you need to win is 1, test fast. Validate your ideas in 48 hours, not 48 weeks. 2, use your constraints, turn them into creative advantages. 3, build a learning system. 3 questions every Friday for 20 minutes so that way you can adapt and improve. 4, focus on one thing, 1 priority per week that actually moves the needle for your business, that creates value. And last, 5, show up every day. 1 small action every single day, consistently, no exceptions. Now, here's the thing. These aren't theoretical concepts. These are practical skills you can start building today. And here's the beautiful part. These skills work all together. When you test fast, you learn faster. When you focus on one thing, you show up and it becomes a lot easier. When you embrace constraints, you get more creative. So here's my suggestion to really put this all together for yourself. Pick one of these 5 skills. Just one. Not all 5, not 2, not 3. Keep it simple. Focus on one of these skills, the one that you feel like you need the most right now. Then commit to practicing it every single day for the next week. Test fast, validate an idea within 48 hours this week. You want to use constraints? List your biggest limitations that you feel like you have right now and find 3 creative solutions. You want to build a learning system? Great. Answer those exact 3 questions that I shared every single Friday. You want to focus on one thing? Great. Just focus on one thing, identify your 1 priority and work on that. And if you have issues showing up daily, then pick that. Pick your daily non-negotiable, do it 7 days straight. 1 skill, 7 days, that's it. Every single successful entrepreneur that you may admire, like Jeff Bezos, Sarah Bakley, James Dyson, they practice these exact skills during their journey to be able to build their successful, large corporation, large business right now. They got creative with the constraints, they learn from the feedback, and more importantly, they focus relentlessly to make it happen. So if you care about your success, pick one, learn all of them, and see yourself, succeed. So with that being said, show up daily. Now, if you're serious about your business, your results, and your success, then I want you to subscribe to my channel because I'm going to continue to give you real practical advices that you can use in any industry that you choose to be able to build a successful business week after week. So with that being said, let's win together. And I want you to actually watch this video right now because I'm sure it's also going to help you grow much faster.